Welcome to Woo English. This is not just a story about a country. It is a story about choice, pressure, and survival. In today's episode, you will learn English while exploring a real, strange problem. Why are young people in South Korea refusing to marry? Why do they say no to babies? And what happens to a country when no one wants to become a parent? This story will surprise you. It will teach you English, and it might change the way you see the future. Let's begin. Chapter 1. A Nation Without Children. Listen closely. What if I told you a country is slowly disappearing, not because of war, not because of disease, but because people don't want to have babies? Yes, it's true. This is the story of South Korea. In the past, people worried about overpopulation, too many mouths, not enough food. But now, the fear is the opposite. South Korea has one of the lowest birth rates in the world. Women are not having children. Men are not getting married. The future feels empty. Let's look at the numbers. In 2021, the fertility rate in South Korea was 0.81. That means, for every woman, there are less than one baby born. To keep a population stable, the rate should be 2.1. Now, think about that. Not 2, not 1. Less than 1. This is more than a small problem. It's a national crisis. But why is this happening? Why are young people in Korea saying no to children? To understand this, we must understand their life. Imagine you are a young Korean woman. You study hard. You enter university at age 18. You finish at 22. You search for a job. It takes time. Finally, you start working at 24. You work, you grow, you learn. And then, maybe at 30, you think about marriage. But by then, you are tired, busy, and scared. You want success. You want peace. And babies? They cost time. They cost energy. They cost money. So, you say, maybe later. Or maybe never. Now imagine the man. He wants to marry, maybe. But he needs to pay for everything. House, wedding, baby. The pressure is huge, and many men say, "It's too much. I can't do it." They give up. Together, both sides walk away. They walk away from love, from marriage, from parenthood. Not because they are bad people, but because life is hard. The government is worried. They give money to women who become pregnant. In 2020, it was $500. Now it's $1,700. But is that enough? One woman said, "The money is gone before the baby even comes." So here's the question. What happens to a country when no one wants children? What happens when schools are empty? But hospitals for old people are full. What happens when there are more funerals than birthdays? This is not science fiction. This is real. It's happening right now in South Korea. And it's not just Korea. Other countries like Japan, China, even parts of Europe are walking the same path. But in Korea, the fall is faster. The silence is louder. In the next chapter, we'll go deeper. What is stopping love in Korea? Why is marriage no longer a dream? Stay with me. Because this story is not just about Korea. It might be about all of us. Chapter 2. No time for love. She wants love, but she also wants a career. He wants a family. But he's not ready to pay the price. This is the Korean love story today. Let's follow a young woman. Her name is Minji. Minji is smart. She enters university at age 18. She studies for 4 years. She works hard, every day, every night. After graduation, she doesn't rest. She needs a job. She looks and waits. At age 24, she finally starts working. It's a good job, in a big company. But it's also busy, stressful, demanding. Her dream? To grow, to succeed, to stand tall. Now, let's pause. When does love begin? For many people, love begins in their 20s. But for Minji, no time, meetings, deadlines, pressure. Love must wait. At age 30, Minji is still working. She is tired, but proud. She thinks about marriage. But then she thinks again. If she marries, will she still get promoted? If she has a baby, will the company still support her? Her answer is soft, quiet, and full of sadness. Maybe I'm not ready. Minji is not alone. In Korea, most women delay marriage. The average age for a first marriage is now over 30. And for many, it's not a delay. It's a decision. Now, let's meet Ji-hoon. He is 33. He has a job, a small apartment, a normal life. But Ji-hoon feels pressure every day. His parents ask, "When will you marry?" Society asks, "When will you become a father?" But Ji-hoon has questions too. Can I afford it? Can I take care of a family? Can I survive in this world? He wants to love, but he's afraid. In South Korea, love is not free. Marriage is not easy. Babies are not cheap. And time? Time is always running away. Here's a truth that hurts. In 1990, men in Korea married at age 28. Women married at 25. Now, men marry after 33. Women after 31. And for many, it's already too late. Biology is not flexible. A woman's best time for pregnancy is in her 20s. But now, many Korean women think about children in their 30s, or not at all. So what happens? One child. Or none. You may ask, but don't people want children? Yes. Deep inside, many do. They want laughter in the house. Little hands, little feet. A voice calling Mama or Papa. But dreams meet reality, and reality is hard. Min-ji dreams of love. But her boss expects 12-hour workdays. Her parents expect grandchildren. Her heart expects peace. What will she choose? What would you choose? This is the life of millions of Koreans, a race between success and family, between hope and fear. No easy answers, no simple path. In the next chapter, we will explore the man's side. Why are many Korean men saying no to marriage? What is really behind their fear? Stay with me, because this story is not over yet. Chapter 3. Men Who Don't Want to Marry. He's 35. He has no wife, no children, no plans. But he is not sad. He is tired. Tired of expectations. Tired of pressure. Tired of being told what a real man must do. This is the voice of many men in South Korea today. Let's meet Dong-hyun. He works in Seoul. He has a full-time job. He earns a normal salary. But every month, his bills grow. Rent, food, transport, clothes, and hope becomes smaller. One evening, his parents call. They ask, "When will you bring someone home? When will we see grandchildren?" Dong-hyun smiles. He says, "Soon?" But inside, he thinks, maybe never. Marriage sounds nice, but marriage also means a wedding, a house, a child, a future he must carry alone. In Korean culture, the man must provide. He must buy the apartment, pay the bills, protect the family. But how? If his wallet is empty? Let's stop for a moment. Ask yourself, if you had no money, would you start a family? Would you take the risk? Now, imagine this choice. Every day. For years. That's Dong-hyun's life, and the life of many Korean men. In 2020, a study asked young men in Korea, "Do you want children after marriage?" Almost half said, "No." And when asked, "Do you want to marry at all?" Only 51% said, "Yes." That's just over half. Shocking? Maybe not. Korean men are not heartless. They are not cold. They just feel alone. The weight of a modern life is heavy. Too heavy for one man. Dong-hyun has dreams. He dreams of love, of cooking dinner together, of a child's laughter in the room. But he wakes up, and reality says You can't afford that. So, what does he do? He stays single. He saves money. He lives simply. No wedding, no family, no chaos. Just quiet. But that quiet has a price. At age 40, he may look back and wonder, did I miss something? Did I lose something I never even started? But he's not sure. Maybe this is freedom, or maybe it's fear. There's another truth we must see. Korea's job market is tough. Housing is expensive. Salaries are not rising. So, men wait. They wait for money, for peace, for the right moment. But what if that moment never comes? Many say it's better to stay alone than to fail with someone else. That sentence says everything. In the past, men were proud to marry early, to become fathers, to lead a home. Now, they're proud to survive, to stay sane, to protect their own peace. Can you blame them? Or do you understand them? In the next chapter, we will look at the true cost of having a baby. Why is raising one child so difficult? And why are even the rich saying no? Don't miss it. This story is just getting started. Chapter 4: The Real Cost of a Baby. A baby is small, soft hands, tiny feet, a sweet smile. But behind that smile is a big number. How much does a baby really cost? The answer may shock you. Let's start with a simple truth. In South Korea, raising a child is very expensive. More expensive than in any other country, compared to income. That means, if you earn average money, raising a child takes a huge part of it. Not just for 1 year, but for 18 years or more. Let's meet So Young and her husband Jin Woo. They live in Busan. Both work. Both studied hard. Both are careful with money. After marriage, they have one child, a boy named Hanul. They are happy at first. But then, the costs begin. First, hospital visits during pregnancy, tests, medicine, checkups. They spend $2,000 before the baby is even born. Then, baby clothes, bed, milk, diapers, toys, more money. Then comes child care. They both work, so they need help. Daycare costs $500 every month. Later comes school, and school in Korea is not free. Many parents pay for private classes called Hagwons, English, math science, piano. Article each class? $100, sometimes more. Imagine doing this every week for 10 years. So, Young says, "We love our child, but the money never stops." And she's right. A 2022 report said, the cost to raise one child in Korea from birth to age 18 is around $270,000. That's more than a house in some places. And remember, that's for one child. Now imagine 2 or 3. No wonder many families stop after 1 or choose to have none. Let's look at another country. In the USA, it's similar. A child costs over $310,000 until age 17. That's according to the Brookings Institution. So this is not just a Korean problem. It's global. But in Korea, it feels worse because everything moves fast. And people feel judged. Some mothers feel guilty if they don't spend enough. Some fathers feel shame if they can't provide more. Society expects perfect parents, but no one teaches how to be one. And what does the government do? They give baby bonuses. Money for women who get pregnant. In 2020, it was $500. Now, it's $1,700 per baby. But many women say, "It's not enough. I spend that on doctor visits alone." So, here's the question. Is a child a blessing or a burden? Of course, children are beautiful. They bring love, joy, meaning, but they also bring responsibility. And in a hard world, that scares people. So Young and Jin Woo still love their son. They work for him, they smile for him. But when people ask, "Will you have another child?" they say nothing, just a quiet look and a long pause. That silence says everything. In the next chapter, we'll see how the Korean government is trying to fix this. What are they offering? And is it working? You might be surprised. Chapter 5. A gift from the government. A country is worried. Its people are not having babies. Its future is fading. So what does the government do? It offers a gift. But will money bring back love? In 2020, something unusual happened in South Korea. A woman named Choi Yoon-seo became pregnant. She was in her late 30s. It was not easy for her to have a baby. But one day, she went to the clinic. And the test was positive. She was going to be a mother. Then, a few weeks later, she received $500 from the government. It was called a baby bonus, a gift for choosing to become pregnant. Strange? Maybe. But also a sign of desperation. South Korea needs babies. It needs parents. It needs hope. So the government gives money. Today, the baby bonus is even bigger. Mothers now receive $1,700 when they become pregnant. And more support comes after birth. Free diapers, childcare money, tax breaks, discounts on milk, clothes, and school fees. It sounds nice, doesn't it? But wait. Let's go back to Choi Yoon-seo. She used the $500 quickly. She paid for medical tests. She paid for vitamins. She paid for hospital visits. Before she reached the 4th month, the money was gone. She told a reporter, "If the government thinks this will make me want another baby, they are wrong. It's not enough." And she is not alone. Many mothers feel the same. They say, "It's a good start, but it doesn't fix the problem." Why? Because the problem is not just money. It's time. It's fear. It's the pressure of society, work, and expectations. Money helps. But money is not everything. Still, the government is trying. They have spent billions of dollars on programs to raise the birth rate. Billions. With very little success. Let's pause here. Can a baby be bought? Of course not. Children come from love, from dreams, from hope, not from cash. But governments think numbers. They see charts. They see falling lines. They see an empty future. So they pay, they hope, they wait. But the birth rate keeps falling. Less than 0.8 babies per woman, the lowest in the world. And the bonuses? They are not changing the story. Why? Because the real issue is deep. It's not about one-time payments. It's about lifestyle. People are tired. People are busy. People are afraid to start families. And until that changes, the bonuses will not work. In the next chapter, we'll see just how serious the situation is. What happens to a country when babies stop coming? Can a nation really disappear? Don't go away. Chapter 6. A Quiet Emergency. No sirens, no smoke, no explosions. But something dangerous is happening in South Korea. A quiet emergency. One that you can't hear until it's too late. Let's look at the numbers. Today, South Korea has about 52 million people. But in the year 2070, that number may fall to 38 million. And by 2100, it could drop to 24 million. Half the country gone. Not from war, not from disease, but from something simple. No one is having babies. This is what experts call population collapse. And it's not a future problem. It's already here. In 2020, there were about 37 million people in Korea's workforce. People who can work, earn, and build the economy. But by 2070, that number may fall to 18 million. Half the workers, half the energy, half the future. Let's pause here. What happens when a country has too many old people and not enough young ones? Who pays the taxes? Who builds the roads? Who teaches the children? Who becomes the doctor? The answer is simple. No one. When workers disappear, so does the economy. And that is why many people are afraid. Not afraid of robots. Not afraid of war. they are afraid of silence, of empty schools, of closed hospitals, of lonely streets. You see, a country is more than buildings. It is people. It is energy. It is dreams passed from old to young. Without children, that line is broken. Some countries, like Canada or Germany, solve the problem with immigration. They welcome people from other countries. They give them homes, jobs, and a new life. These people help the economy grow again. But South Korea? It's not so simple. Korea is not a country of immigrants. It's proud, it's traditional, and many people are not ready to open the door. So, there is no Plan B. If Korean people don't have children, there is no one else coming. In January 2020, the head of the Bank of Korea said something important. Our low birth rate is one of the biggest risks to our economy. He was not joking. He was warning, because fewer births mean fewer workers, which means less productivity, which means less money for schools, hospitals, and social support. It's a cycle, a dangerous one, and it's already started. We call this a demographic time bomb. Tick, tick, tick. Every year, the problem grows. And the sound? It's not loud. It's quiet. Too quiet. You might ask, can Korea fix this? Maybe. But it needs big changes. Not just money, but mindset. Not just bonuses, but belief in the future. Because this is more than a number. It's a national identity. A question of survival. And in the next chapter, we'll go deeper into the hearts and minds of Korean youth. Why are they really saying no? Is it fear or freedom? Stay close. This story is now personal. Chapter 7. Why they say no. Why do they say no? Not maybe. Not later. Just no. No to love. No to marriage. No to children. Is it fear or freedom? Let's find out. Meet Jae-min, 29 years old. He works in IT. He lives alone in a small studio apartment. He plays games at night. He eats ramen for dinner. He has no girlfriend and no plans for one. People ask him, "Don't you want a wife? A family?" He smiles and says, "No, I'm okay." But what does he really mean? Let's go deeper. In a 2020 survey, almost 50% of young Koreans said they don't want children, even after marriage. Even more said, "Maybe I'll never marry at all." Why? Let's listen to them. Some say, children are too expensive. Others say, marriage is too stressful. Many say, I just want to live my life, my way. For young Koreans, freedom is important. Freedom to work, to travel, to sleep late, to change jobs, to live without rules. Marriage? That means responsibility. That means compromise. That means pressure. Now, meet Hyejin, 27. She is smart, strong, and independent. She wants to build her own business. She works 10 hours a day. She says, marriage? Maybe later. Maybe never. If I have a baby, my career is over. That fear is real. In Korea, many women lose job opportunities after pregnancy. They feel forgotten, invisible, so they wait. Or they walk away from family life. Let's stop here. Ask yourself, would you start a family if it meant giving up your dreams? Would you marry if it meant losing freedom? For many Koreans, the answer is clear. There's another reason, too. Loneliness. In a busy digital world, people feel alone. Even in big cities, hearts are cold. Making connections is hard. Finding trust is harder. So people protect themselves. They build small lives, private lives, safe lives, no big dreams, no big risks, and no children. But here's the question. Does this choice bring peace or emptiness? At age 30, maybe it feels good. But at age 60, will they look back with pride or with pain? Nobody knows for sure. Some say this is a crisis. Others say it's freedom. But one thing is clear. The world is changing. Marriage is not a must. Children are not the goal. People want purpose. People want peace. And sometimes that means saying no. In the next chapter, we'll ask a bigger question. If Koreans don't have children, why don't they bring in people from other countries? Is immigration the answer? Let's explore. Chapter 8. Can migration help? The problem is clear. Too few babies, too many old people. The population is falling fast. So, what's the solution? Bring in new people. But, can South Korea really open its doors? Let's look at other countries. Germany had a similar problem. So it welcomed workers from Turkey, Syria, and other nations. Canada has one of the highest immigration rates in the world. Why? Because it needs people. New people bring new energy, new ideas, new families, new futures. Even Japan, which was once very strict, is starting to accept more immigrants. So now, let's ask, why not Korea? On paper, immigration sounds easy. Just invite people to come. Give them jobs. Let them build new lives. But in Korea, it's not so simple. Korea is a proud country. It has a long history, a strong culture, a deep sense of identity. And for many Koreans, that identity feels fragile. Some people worry, If too many foreigners come, will we lose our traditions? Will our language, food, and values change? These fears are real. Today, immigrants make up only a small part of Korea's population. Most are from China, Vietnam, or the Philippines. Many work in factories or farms. Others marry Korean citizens. But even after years, many immigrants say they feel like outsiders. Let's meet Maria, a woman from the Philippines. She married a Korean man. They live in a small town. She says, "I love Korea. I try hard to fit in, but people still look at me like I don't belong." Her story is common. Why does this happen? Because society changes slowly. Because people fear the unknown. Because building trust takes time. And without trust, there is no welcome. So what now? If Koreans don't want more babies and don't welcome many immigrants, what is left? Who will care for the old? Who will work the jobs? Who will keep the country alive? It's a hard question. Some experts say, Korea must change. It must open its doors, or it will shrink into silence. But change is not easy. Change means letting go of fear. It means accepting difference. It means seeing new faces as part of the same family. There is hope. Some young Koreans are more open. They study abroad. They speak English. They meet people from around the world. They say, let's grow, let's learn, let's invite. Maybe they are the future. But for now, the numbers don't lie. Immigration is not strong. And birth rates are still falling. The clock keeps ticking. And Korea stands at a crossroads. Which path will it take? In the next and final chapter, we ask the biggest question of all. What will the future look like? Can Korea survive? Or is it already too late? Let's take one last step together. Chapter 9. What will the future be? What happens to a country when the homes are full of silence? When no babies cry? When schools are empty, but hospitals are full? What will the future be? Let's imagine the year 2100. You walk down a street in Seoul. The buildings are tall. The roads are clean. But something feels different. There are no children playing. No school buses, no laughter, just quiet. Korea's population has dropped from 52 million to 24 million. That's less than half. And many of those people are old, very old. Young workers are rare. Shops are closed. The economy is slow. And the problem? It didn't start with war. It started with a choice. A choice to wait. A choice to say, not now. A choice to say, maybe never. But let's be fair. That choice was not made in hate. It was made in fear. Fear of money. Fear of failure. Fear of losing freedom. Can we blame them? Number. But can we learn from them? Yes. The story of South Korea is not just about babies. It's about modern life, about the balance between work and family, about personal dreams and public needs. And it's not just Korea. Many countries are following the same road. Japan, China, Italy, Spain. Even rich countries are shrinking. So, what can we do? We must ask new questions. How can we support parents better? How can we make work and family go together? How can we make people feel safe to love, to build, to raise the next generation? The answers are not simple. There is no magic law, no perfect plan. But one thing is clear. If we do nothing, the future will be very quiet. Still, there is hope. Young people are talking, communities are growing, new ideas are rising. Some people are saying, let's work less and live more. Let's share the cost of children. Let's welcome others and build together. It's not too late. The story of South Korea is a warning, but also an invitation. An invitation to think, to feel, to plan, and to care. Because the future is not written yet. It begins with a choice. So what would you choose? Will you build? Will you love? Will you leave a story behind? The future is waiting.